Sign up for the Brief, our daily newsletter that keeps readers up to speed on the most essential Texas news. Uvalde, the Texas Department of Public Safety is reviewing how 91 state troopers and rangers responded to the Robb Elementary School shooting to determine if any violated policies or laws. The agency's announcement Monday that it had formed an internal committee for the inquiry comes nearly 2 months after an 18-year-old gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers in Texas' worst school shooting, and 1 day after a Texas House panel report found that 376 law enforcement officers fro. The DPS committee, formed last week, will also determine where the department can make necessary improvements for future mass casualty responses, according to a department statement. No additional information will be available until the committee has completed its full review of the departments. The House committee report released Sunday described how the shooter prepared and armed himself, how the school district fell short on campus safety preparations and how law enforcement moved too slowly to end the massacre. It provided the most thorough account yet of the May 24 school shooting and the failures of law enforcement. For weeks, state leaders have largely blamed Uvalde School's police chief Pete Arredondo for law enforcement waiting more than an hour to confront the gunman. DPS Director Steve McCraw was among Arredondo's most vocal critics. At a Texas Senate committee hearing last month, he called the law enforcement response an abject failure and said police could have stopped the shooter 3 minutes after arriving if it weren't for the indecisiveness of Arredondo, who he said decided to place the lives of officers before the live. The report said 376 law enforcement officers from several local, state and federal agencies lacked clear leadership, basic communications and sufficient urgency to take down the gunman. The House committee investigation said that in the absence of a strong incident commander, another officer could have, and should have, stepped up to the task. These local officials were not the only ones expected to supply the leadership needed during this tragedy, the report said. Hundreds of responders from numerous law enforcement agencies, many of whom were better trained and better equipped than the school district police, quickly arrived on the scene. During a news conference here Sunday, the 3-member House committee didn't publicly address the legal or profession. Eva Guzman, the former Texas Supreme Court justice, said officers who failed to take action should not be working in law enforcement.